Hello, hello, and welcome, Digital Marketer Lab members, to Office Hours. This is a weekly live training webinar we host every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Central. I'm your host. My name's Jenna Snavely. I'm the content manager in charge of production here at DM, and we're also joined by our content coordinator, Maya Hughley. She'll be in the live chat making sure your questions are heard, and next week, Maya will be hosting her first office hour, so I'm very excited for her. If you're brand new to office hours, each week we cover a different specific marketing strategy with a new expert guest. This is recorded, and if you're a paying Lab Plus, or Lab Elite subscriber, the recording will be inside your members dashboard under the Office Hours tab within just a few hours. But if you're here with us live, glad you're here. You have the added benefit of getting your questions answered live by our guest. And this week we're joined by Lindsay Mirando. She's the director of marketing at Hello Bar and Subscribers. They're a lead collection tool for websites, helping businesses drive more sales and revenue, and just overall getting those website visitors to come back and actually do stuff and engage. So Lindsay, hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. We actually beforehand connected because we both have had jobs collecting email addresses. And yours was specifically for Monday Night Football at a bar. So I
Yes.
love that.
fun.
I love that. It's very hard to read handwriting when people have been drinking heavily, I'm sure.
Goodness, that was my biggest challenge. And I've been putting hundreds of email addresses.
Yeah. Well, luckily, we can do that online now.
Thank goodness for technology.
Um, yeah. Well, I'll let you kick it off. I know you've got some really good stuff to share, so I'll let you just take it away.
Sounds great. Well, thank you guys so much for having me, and thank you everyone for being here and showing up for your business. I'm super pumped to be here with you. Goal today is to give you some quick take action items that can start modifying on your website so that you can convert more visitors and get more sales. So I'm going to go through the content. Feel free to ask questions along the way. I won't be able to see them, but I will answer all of them in the end. So please get as specific as possible, or if there's something that you didn't get answered today that you were hoping to get answered, don't be shy. Somebody else probably has that question, and I want to make sure you get the most out of our time together because your time is valuable. So you signed up for why 98% of your, and that should say blog, website visitors aren't taking action, and 3 steps to make sure that they do. So we're going to really talk about how to get your website visitors to start taking action today in your business. Because after all, you want to make the most out of the traffic that's coming to your site. So a little bit more about me. I don't want to spend too long here at all, but just a little bit why I'm even qualified to be here and teaching. So I've been in marketing since 2002. As Jenna mentioned, my first job was collecting email addresses for a Monday Night Football raffle at a bar. Thank goodness technology has come far since then. Since then, I've worked in all styles, much further. I've in all style industries, from restaurant marketing to health and wellness to e-commerce based companies, all sizes. I've written a book. I've spoke all over the US, different conferences, and most recently, about 3.5 years ago, I actually started working for Hello Bar and Subscribers, which are 2 Neil Patel software companies. So I'm really excited to be able to share some of the tricks that we use currently on site to get more engagement and to convert more traffic into paid dollars, because at the end of the day, you're business owners and that's what you need to do. So quick little what is Hello Bar, and then I'll show you what is subscribers, and then we'll dive in. So Hello Bar is really a tool to capture more leads on your website, otherwise known as pop-ups. That's what most people see them as. And yes, I'm sure you're thinking pop-ups can be so annoying, right? We hear that all the time, but they can also work really well. It's important, and we're going to talk about that today, to get super personalized with your marketing, and they can support you in doing that. Most people know us for the top bar, but we also have flyers, bells, page takeovers, and a ton of different assets you can put on your site to start getting those leads. And then the second tool that we have is actually called Subscribers. Subscribers is a web push notification software. If you've ever seen that little blower block on the side of a website, that is Subscribers. Then once you hit allow, that means as a website owner, you can actually send web push notifications to your subscriber base, which is awesome, you guys, because it actually sits on people's desktop and waits for them. So if they're not at their browser at the time, when they come back, it actually appears. So it's a really great way to drive traffic back to your site. So Hello Bar is great for making the most of the traffic you have on your site, collecting those leads. Subscribers is great to get it back. And our goal really is, as software companies, to support you in having softwares every step of the funnel so that you can make sure that you're making the most out of your traffic and your marketing. So you showed up here today because we want to talk about your website traffic, right? We want to talk about how to get them to convert and what's going on with the website traffic. So before we begin and before I get into the problems, the stuff that we want to fix today, I'd love for you to type in the chat. I'm not going to be able to see it, but Jenna's going to let me know. I'll have you type in the chat and then I'll circle back in about a minute to give you a little time. But I'd love to hear what type of businesses you have. Do you have an e-commerce business? Do you have a coaching business, digital marketers? Do you own an agency? What style business do you have? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Don't be shy. I always love to use examples along the way to kind of for your types of businesses. And if I don't get to one example for your type of business, we'll have plenty of time in the end for Q&A so you can ask questions around it. So type in the chat. I'm going to keep going for about a minute and I'll circle back to get some of the answers. So there's a couple big problems, you guys, that exist in the industry today. The first is 96% of website consumers that land on your website, they're not actually ready to buy yet. So whether you're e-commerce, you're a coach, you're an agency, they're not ready, right? Only 4% of people are like right there ready to go, which creates a problem, right? But imagine if you actually collected their information, right? You were able to get a hold of them again, whether you grabbed their phone number, you grabbed their email, maybe you're using a chatbot and you're able to collect their information that way. So I want you to think about the last time you actually bought a product, right? What did you do when you were in that buyer journey? Did you get to a website and buy right away? Sometimes we do that. Or did you think about it? Did you analyze it? Did you take a lot of time before you actually bought the product? So I'm going to talk about, this actually isn't the last time I bought a product, but I thought this was a really interesting journey, right? When you think about what a customer is going through and how many touch points they have, how many times they're going and reading reviews and looking at competitors' sites, right? There's a lot happening online right now. So I went online, I was looking for new nightstands, you guys. I had these nightstands since college and I haven't been in college since 2004, so it's pretty embarrassing. But I just knew it was time for my husband and I get new nightstands. So searching around, I'm like, I gotta find ones that are gonna last long. Where should I get them? Where should I get them? So I look on the site, Jocelyn, Maine. I'm like, oh, these white ones are cute. They're perfect. I mean, although I probably will spill everything, but it seems like a really good classy move to get some white nightstands. So I go through the process. I go to Jocelyn, Maine. I fill my cart with like, oh, I need a shoe rack. I need this. I need that. And I fill my cart up, probably have like a couple $100 worth of stuff in there. And then it hits me, you guys. I think about it. I'm like, wait a second. Wayfair sent me an email last week with a 20% savings coupon, right? So I go back to my email, I check it out, still valid, go to Wayfair. I find out they have the same nightstand, the same shoe rack and everything on there. So what do? I actually fill my cart on Wayfair, I check out with a coupon. You guys, and I'm a pretty impulsive buyer. When I know what if I want something, I go for it, I go get it, right? But this is an example of how Wayfair stayed top of mind. They still contacted me, they got a hold of me again. And so then I went and filled my shopping cart with them, right? So that's what I really want you to think about today as we're going through this training. How can you stay top of mind? Are you staying top of mind? And are you keeping your audience? Are they hearing from you constantly? So I'm gonna pause. I'll hit back to Jenna to see maybe if you could share some of the industries overall that people were in to make sure that I get examples as possible.
Cool. So Pia, Christian, and Andrea are doing digital marketing agencies and consulting. Luis has an e-commerce business. Steve Gardner is info product business and personal development, and he's also a seller on ClickBank. And Patrick does personal or spiritual development courses and consulting.
Awesome. So it sounds like a combo between e-commerce, courses, agency, and consulting.
Thank you all for answering. And then B Mark added, he's an author. So author and speaking as well.
Perfect. Okay, amazing, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really, really helpful. Awesome. Great. So we'll make sure I have some e-commerce examples on the way. I can talk through consulting and as well, and I have digital course example as well. And then anything we don't get to, we'll chat about in the end as well. Perfect. So you guys, one of the other things that exists, and this is really, it's a crazy stat, right? On average, 98% of website visitors are going to leave your site without taking action. So in essence, that means for every 1,000 visitors, 980 will leave and they won't do anything. They won't put an email address in, they won't fill out your consulting form, they won't buy from you, right? And I don't share this with you to scare you. I want to talk about today how to actually make more people take action on your site, get them to come back again so that you're making the most out of the traffic that you have. Because there's one misconception in the industry that I hear a lot that's like, I have to get more traffic, I have to get more traffic. And I think it's very important to get traffic, right? But what's also very important is what are you doing with that traffic? If you're not making the most and maximizing the traffic, you are losing money. And I want to show you today how to make sure to take advantage of that traffic and not lose money, right? Let's get more traffic and let's actually make the most out of the traffic we're having. So if people are leaving, they're not taking action, you're getting high bounce rates, that's super devastating because you are spending so much time and energy. So I think what's really important in this is if we're going to talk about an issue here today and a problem, we've got to know why. Why are people leaving your site without buying or filling out your consulting form or taking one of your courses? Why are they not taking any action, right? Well, first of all, you guys, you probably aren't giving them a reason to stay. And I know this is a harsh reality. I owned my own business for 5 years, and I found that when I wasn't paying attention to my website and I wasn't really giving people a reason to stay, right? I wasn't personalizing it, which we're going to talk about today. I had super high bounce rates. I wasn't collecting email addresses. But when I really focused in on what my goal was for my site and actually personalizing the experience, I got a lot of consulting clients from that. So you know, it's a reality that exists. So this is what I see often, you guys. I actually just analyzed almost like 400 sites. We have an agency here that's our sister agency, and I analyzed all their clients' sites, and this is what I saw most common. These were all over the board. These were e-commerce sites, consulting sites, you name it, and this is what I found. First, I see offers like this, right? Join my newsletter. Now, I don't know about you. 10 years ago, this totally worked. It was very easy to collect email addresses. Unfortunately, people have become more savvy, right? Especially on e-commerce, they're waiting for the savings. So join my newsletter doesn't work, right? It's not appealing. Would you join the newsletter? I mean, I do like the ice cream cone. That looks amazing, but I'm not sure that I would actually join this newsletter because you're not giving me an incentive. You're not solving any problems. An email address is very, very valuable, you guys. It's like a currency now, right? You want my email address? Well, I'm going to need a little something for that. And that's what consumers are starting to think about. So one of the reasons why people aren't staying is they're not getting anything exciting. They're not getting enticing. And that's why they may not be putting in their email address. Wrong message, wrong page. I see this all the time. You guys, I have a really funny story. We had this client that we did managed services years ago when I started with the Neil Patel team and the subscribers in Hello Bar, and it was a lawyer. It was a lawyer's office, and they did divorce, and they also had child services protection. They had a few different types of law that they practiced. So I went on and I put a Hello Bar very similar to this top bar, and on the child I think it was the child services law page, I put a divorce top bar. So it said, oh, are you looking to get a divorce? Click here to get a consultation. Obviously, if someone's on that page, they're most likely not looking for a divorce. And I remember Neil calling me and saying, Lindsay, you have to take that off. Like, that doesn't make sense, right? Total newbie error on that. So one of the things I see a lot is wrong message, wrong page, whether it be on site, whether it be through your pop-ups, whether it be through your chatbots. You want to make sure that you have the right message and the right page. And then this is, you guys, above all, 99% of the time, this is what I see, right? I shouldn't say 99, I'd say about 95% of the time. Too many calls to action, right? Pop-up over pop-up, a chatbot over a chatbot, your intercom chat message going over a slider. And this is what we want to be really careful. It's very important that on your website, you have calls to action, whatever you're using for that, but you don't want it to be overwhelming because people are going to bounce and leave. And I see this often. So really, one of the key quick tips here is just go on your site after this, and I want you to be a user or have a friend do it, and I want you to watch them. I want you to watch them on your site, see where they get annoyed, see where they hop off, and see where they drop off, because I see this very often, that we're having pop-ups over pop-ups, and that's driving people away from the site. So you guys, we know why people are leaving. We know what's happening on site. Now we're going to talk about 3 simple steps today that you can start implementing right after we hop off. So that you can start taking action and keeping people on your website. Again, making the most out of your website traffic. It's not about having hundreds and hundreds of thousands of visitors. Of course, that's amazing, but the bigger question is, what are you doing with those visitors, right? So that you can continue to get more traffic and continue to convert that traffic. That is a really, really beautiful merriment. So we're going to talk about personalization, right? We're going to talk about how to personalize your website, which is going to keep people there. We're going to talk about creating a free offer, and I'm sure you're like, oh, Lindsay, I already know. I know about the lead bag, I know about the free offer. I'm going to talk about some newer ones that are working really well for us, again, that you can start implementing right away. And then we're going to talk about the other side of the sales funnel, right? So we're always really thinking and focused on the first part of the sales funnel, getting the traffic there. But let's talk about giving people a reason to come back again. How do we capture their information to get them to come back again, so that we can continue to market to your community? Okay, so let's dive in. All right, so sorry, I keep moving this little GoToWebinar thing. I think I got it now. Okay, we're good. So step 1, you guys, you've got to make it personal. I love this example on Timothy Sykes, when he says, I'm determined to create a millionaire trader in Las Vegas, right? My only question, will it be you? So one cool thing when you're thinking about making it personal, this is something we do with some Hello Bar pop-ups as well, as we have targeting function where based on someone's location, we can actually target a message through their IP address to that specific location, right? So we can say, hey, we're trying to help 45,000 people in Las Vegas. Will that be you? And think about it. You get to a site and you see that and you're like, whoa, they know I'm in Las Vegas. This is highly personal. This isn't just some generic message that everyone's getting. You guys, generic websites are very hard to convert. Personalization truly is the new conversion rate optimization. You'll hear Neil say this a ton, right? It's very, very important. If you want to stay ahead in 2020, you've got to start personalizing your content. It's crucial. So let's start with, how the heck do you personalize your content, right? How do you decide what you're going to post on your website? How do you decide what type of messaging and what assets to post and all that good stuff, right? So first step, you guys, it always goes back to the metrics. What's actually happening on your website? This is where I always start with every single client, right? I first understand who's coming to their website, who their ideal client is, what their pain points are, and then what are their user metrics, right? What's their bounce rate? How long are people staying on site? What pages are they going to? What are the top traffic pages? Why this is super important is because what I always look at is, what are the highest traffic pages, and then how can I start to really personalize the messaging on these pages? So here's an example. You see the pricing page is in our top 5. This is a Hello Bar. This is from our August Google Analytics. But what I notice on the pricing page is we have a really high bounce rate, right? So if about 77% of people are leaving on the pricing page, then it's telling me that maybe I need to do something and personalize an offer for them on that page because they're exiting. So first step when you're thinking about personalization is get into the metrics, get into what's happening on site. So in this example, I would look at, okay, the pricing page has a high bounce rate. So I think I'm going to actually offer some sort of savings or maybe $1 trial or something that's a low barrier to entry, because maybe they're bouncing because the pricing's too high or they're not getting enough details. So this could be an example for maybe your coaching or your work with me page. Maybe you put like, hey, get a free 45-minute spiritual healing chat, or 45-minute marketing and support chat, or something of that sort, because maybe they're just not ready. They need more details. That's why they're leaving. Let's catch them before they go, right? So getting highly personalized on your website is crucial. And to start, you've got to look at the metrics and see what's happening. Next thing you want to think about, you guys, in order to get personal, are what are their pain points? Everyone is looking to solve a problem when they come to your site, whether you sell shoes and they're looking for comfortable shoes to walk in, or you sell some sort of consulting for digital marketing or any sort of agency, and they're looking to get more traffic, build a website, they're looking to build their digital courses. I know some of you said that you had digital courses, so your courses are solving a problem, right? So one of the things I see very often is I don't see pain points addressed on websites. These should be addressed in website headlines. These should be addressed in any pop-ups, chatbots, anything that you have going on. And when I say pain points, I mean, what is somebody typing into Google that they're looking for a solution for, right? Why do they come to you? What problem are you trying to solve? And make sure those are in your headlines. And I'm going to give you an example shortly, but pain points are key to personalization. I had a student I taught at the Fashion Institute downtown in San Diego, and I had a student, one of my marketing courses, that said, I talked about this same example, and she said, oh, that's so interesting. I was having trouble sleeping, and I was up late one night, and I just Googled meditation for sleeping, and I found someone that had a meditation pack for sleeping specifically, and I paid $25 for it, right? Because that person is solving her problem, and she's really tired at midnight when she can't sleep. So really getting into the brain of your users and making sure your messaging is specifically targeting what they're dealing with. So here's another example, presenting a custom message based on user experience. So this is something we do on hellobar.com. This is a page takeover upon exit. So it only deploys when someone's leaving. We use this on our high bounce pages. So we know that people are there because they're trying to make the most out of their website traffic, right? So we use this, and it says this is an exit intent. 98% will leave without taking action. Stop them from leaving. Create a Hello Bar account. Get more sales. Get more emails, right? So most people say to us, I want to collect more emails and I want to get more sales. That's their pain point. So we address it right there. Create an account. It's free, low barrier to entry. This gets us an additional 900 signups a month, you guys. So it's really a crucial part of our marketing. Yeah.
That's also so meta.
Yeah, it's really quite funny, right? And you guys, what I think is so funny about this one is it's simple. It took me 5 minutes to create in Hello Bar, and it's really simple. So whether you're using us or some other software, think of the messaging, the personalization, and present that messaging based on user experience. Going back to the lawyers page, right? Don't put a divorce pop-up on a page that has nothing to do with divorce. Making sure that you're having these customized experiences is really what's going to set you apart in 2020. I don't know about you, but I have a tendency. I love drinking wine. My husband sells it, so that's always fun. But I have a tendency, 7 o'clock, I'm having a nice glass of wine, and I'm on some shopping sites, and then I go to leave, and I was like, I don't need those shoes. They're in the cart. I don't need them. And suddenly, you offer me 20% when I'm about to leave, right? And you know what? I think maybe I do need them now. So you guys, really customizing based on experience and what's happening on site is going to be crucial. So let's see some fun examples of some personalized headlines that you could potentially pull from to use on your on-site messaging. So this is one we used on neilpatel.com a while back, and I think it's a really good one, and I'll tell you why. How to generate 195,013 visitors a month without spending $1 on advertising, right? So the reason why this is good is it's very specific. This was the amount of traffic at the time when Neil used this that he was getting. This was a while back. So it's a very specific number. He didn't just make it up. And what they're saying is without spending money on ads. So everyone comes to neilpatel.com because they're looking to get more traffic to their site, right? They don't want to spend $1 on ads. So he's specifically addressing the challenges and what they're looking to solve, the pain points that they have, and giving them a solution. He's saying, I'm going to show you how to do this, and you don't have to spend money, right? So again, thinking about how you can address what your ideal client's going through. This is another one. I love this one. How to get out of debt in 90 days or less with this simple guaranteed system, right? I don't know about you, but if I went to a financial budgeting site, there's a lot of different ones out there, right? And I was looking to get out of debt, and you're telling me that's going to take 90 days or less and you have a guaranteed simple system, I'm going to be stoked, right? Because when you're thinking about debt, you're thinking, I'm overwhelmed, I'm in debt, there's no way I'm gonna get out, it's gonna take forever, and you're telling me there's a system and it's gonna be a short period of time, right? So specific numbers, you guys don't make false promises. I always emphasize that in these trainings. It's not about creating clickbait, it's just about creating promises that you can actually keep and your products can fulfill. So integrity is crucial in these processes. So this is another example, and you could totally do this, for anything, right? How to sell 100 digital courses in 30 days or less with this simple guaranteed system. Maybe you sold 100 digital courses in 30 days, right? So base it on something that you've actually done, and that your products are going to help them with. This is another one. Flipping a belief, right? Why diets don't work and what to do about it. So maybe you're in the health wellness space. I think we had some people in a spiritual wellness space. So, it could be something that they have a common belief that they absolutely have to do. And you're telling them that they don't. So maybe it's why morning routines don't work and what to do about it, right? Maybe that's not what you believe, but find something that you actually believe that's a little controversial to what most common people will be saying. Why keto doesn't work and what to do about it, right? Things like that. I saw one that was great maybe 6 months ago. It said why sales funnels don't work and what to do about it. That's pretty risky in the industry, right? To say that sales funnels don't work. But obviously this person had a system and a process that they used that didn't include sales funnels, and it worked for them. So really flipping beliefs. This gets people thinking, right? So whether this is on your website or whether this is on a pop-up or a chatbot or whatever it may be, it really gets people starting to think. So again, personalizing the messaging, getting really into their pain points, into what they're thinking, really getting into detail is going to make a huge difference. Okay, so step one, you guys, is getting really personal with your messaging. This is super crucial. Step two, we're going to talk about creating an irresistible offer. And no, it's not just going to be, get this percentage off. Although, you guys, I will say for my e-commerce folks, free shipping works really well as a percentage savings. Doesn't mean you have to do that. I'm just letting you know that's something that does convert well. But I want to show you a few different things that we've worked on that have worked really well that you can swipe and use for your business. So again, getting away from the, hey, you're coming to my site and just enter your information on your newsletter, right? When you're thinking about a free offer, you want to go back to the pain points. You want to give them a piece of something that's going to get them a big aha moment, get them really excited about your business, and get them to potentially buy from you, right? So one great example of this, there were these gals that did this, I think it was a 7-day smoothie challenge years ago. There was a bunch of different reports on it showing their results. And one of the things they did is they had a bigger program around health and wellness, but this smoothie challenge was great because it was 7 days. They gave them 7 recipes of smoothies, and people started to get more energy, right? They started to feel good. So what happens if you feel good and you have more energy? You're like, wow, this is working. I should probably purchase more of their stuff. Same goes for courses, anything of the sort, consulting. Thinking about things that you do with your clients that gets them some quick wins will be crucial for your free offer. That's what you should be putting in your free offer, because if somebody can get some quick wins, they're going to be like, wow, this was for free. I can't even imagine how great their paid services are, right? So when someone gets to your site, you have 7 seconds, you guys, no time at all. So you really want to think about strategies, systems, blueprints, and toolboxes, not lists, right? Why not lists? Well, when I think of a list, if you're going to tell me, here's 140 things you have to do tomorrow to lose 10 pounds, that seems overwhelming, right? That's the same thing with like ebooks. Ebooks are great. However, if you're saying download this 175-page ebook to get the results you want, that feels like I'm going to have to do a lot of work. People want things a lot faster now. So 3 simple hacks to your morning routine that will get you more energy, more sleep, and exceeding performance at work, right? Things like that that are simple, or 5 recipes under 5 minutes for the moms out there that don't have time. These are the kind of things you want to think about. So don't just say free webinar, share the problems that the webinar will solve, right? That's what we talked about in the personalization of things. So here's my deal. I already talked about this. I'm not going to hype on it, but newsletter boxes are definitely old news. I'm sorry to deliver that. If you have that up right now, don't stress. You can use some of the offers I'm going to share here today, or just modify the text and think about some sort of freebie that you can give away that's a good incentive for people. So interactive quizzes are something that we've been using that work really, really well. We use a software called Lead Quizzes. We're not an affiliate of them or anything. We just love the owners and use their software. There's a good amount of softwares out there that do quizzes, but quizzes are great because interactive content is what people want now. They want to be more engaged. They want more fun stuff. So it could be something like, what diet is best for you based on your personality. I'll show you, we did one like that. We had another client that was had products specifically for pain management. So we did a pain quiz with them, right? And based on what they put, we suggested what they could use to support their pain. So things like that, again, going back to the pain point, what do your users want? What do they need? What are they coming to your website for? So this is an example of a quiz that we did, and I wanted to break it down and show you exactly how it worked and exactly what the results were. So Neil, one of our owners, and Mike, who's one of our owners as well, years ago, they created a website called Nutrition Secrets. They created it because everyone said, oh, it's so easy for you to say, oh, get traffic this way to your website. But you guys haven't tried it from scratch, right? So they said, okay, we'll try it from scratch. So they created a website, Nutrition Secrets, to show people that they could actually get traffic from scratch to a website. And one of the things they were doing in there was they were doing a lot of stuff around health, wellness. People came to them because they wanted to lose weight. They wanted to learn diet types, etc. So they started originally with just a very simple offer to put your email address in, and it wasn't anything too enticing. They were collecting around 5 emails per day. So they obviously weren't super happy with that. So they decided to make a shift. They decided to create a free offer that was a quiz. And it was a quiz that asked to help people figure out what diet type was best for their personality types. They asked a couple questions, and that basically created not only a 310% increase in leads, but it also helped them to sell more products, right? So it was more interactive. Based on that, it shot out, this is your diet for your personality type. So someone got a customized, personalized solution, right? Going back to what we talked about in point number 1. Then from there, they got some results. They were excited, so they ended up buying these products, right? So the $67 product had a 3% conversion, but the $197 upsell had a 10.5% conversion, which is huge, right? Standardly, we're sitting around a couple percentages of conversion. 10.5% is awesome. So they had a 210% increase in sales and a 310% increase in leads. And the reason why is because they decided to do something more interactive. It talked to the pain points of the users coming to their site, right? And it gave them a personalized approach, which then they thought, wow, this is really great. Now I want to see what else these people are doing. So I really want you to think about it when you're thinking about your site, when you're thinking about that free offer. What can you do that's more personalized, that's more interactive? This could be a quiz. This could be some sort of like toolbox. Maybe it's a 3-part video series. Maybe it's a 3-part audio series. I always suggest you guys pull from what you already have that works well, and then look at your audience type. Based on your audience, what would they respond to, right? Is your audience the type that would sit there and watch a video series? Is your audience the type that would listen to an audio, or do they like more blog content? Do they like quick things, longer things? That's how you decide how to deliver it, right? Whether it be through video, quiz, whatever it may be. But make sure it's interactive, it's exciting, and it's ultimately going to get people results. So here's some top quiz tips. Start with 5 questions. You can even do 3 to 4. No more than 4 options per question. You don't want to overwhelm users. Use images if possible. And again, like I said, leadquizzes.com, that's the site that we used for this particular quiz. There's a lot of great sites out there as well for quizzes. And that's some quick tips for you guys to support you. So here's another for my e-commerce folks. This is another one, an offer that we ran. What I want to talk about in this specific offer that I think is really vital is the fact that this was a client that came to us. We managed their website pop-ups. They weren't collecting any email addresses when we started working with them. They're amazing. The owner, Travis, was on Shark Tank. He actually won. He created a tool that taught people how to play guitar. So we asked Travis, the first thing we said to him is, Travis, why do people come to you, right? And he said, well, they come to me because they want to learn how to play guitar. I said, okay, but what are their pain points? What are they struggling with? He said, they think it's going to take forever. They're ready to give up when they come to me. They're over it. They're self-taught. It takes too long, right? So we looked at his, again, going back to user metrics, we looked at his site, we looked at his blog post. We found that he actually had this one blog post that was his highest ranking. It did ridiculously well, and it was teaching people how to be an impressive guitar player in under 60 days or less, right? So addresses the pain points of what he said everyone came to him for. So we created a whole offer around becoming an impressive guitar player in 60 days or less. Again, he hadn't been collecting any email addresses, and in the first month we collected around 1,000 email addresses. Why did it work? Again, pain points, very specific to the audience and what they were dealing with. They were ready to give up, and now we're saying, hey, 60 days, just 2 quick months, and you can become an impressive guitar player. That sounds a lot better than the years that they thought it was going to take them. So this is what we did next. So from there, we looked at what was happening, we looked at the metrics, we looked at the conversions, and we liked the 2%, we liked the email, but we thought, you know what, ultimately he's an e-commerce site. We want to collect more money, right? We want to sell more products. That's why this client has come to us. So we did something really, really simple. On the shop page, we noticed a high bounce rate. So we said, hey, stop, we know that you're about to leave. Do you want to get 10% off on your entire order? And they didn't even have to put in a promo code or a discount code, right? I'm sorry, they did, but they didn't have to put in their email address. So we made it a lot simpler, right? This increased conversions by 0.8%, which maybe you're thinking that's not a huge number. Standard conversion rates on these types of pop-ups are 1 to 2%. If you're going above 2%, you're doing well. So you can see originally with the first one, we were generating an additional $1,500 worth of revenue just from HelloBar, not overall site revenue. And with this one, we actually generated an additional, some months, $6,000 of revenue, some months 10, right? On the busier months, the Cyber Mondays and all those Black Fridays. But this shows you how really just going in, testing the offer and creating, different offers can really make a huge difference. So what I want you to think about is I want you to think about what are the offers that you currently have on your site. And I don't want you to go out and create a 5-part video series and get all crazy, you guys. What I want you to do is think about how you can modify the messaging slightly and how you can make it more focused on benefits, results, and addressing some of the pain points that your ideal clients are having, right? Because again, going back to the whole reason why we're here, if we want more people to stay on site, if we want more people to convert on site, then we have to give them a reason to stay. We have to excite them. We have to give them offers that make them ready to put in their email address and come back again. So here's some of my top tips when it comes to free offers. If you ask a yes/no question on site, you'll typically generate about 20% to 30% more leads. Yes/no would be, for example, we had a top bar about a year ago that said, do you want more traffic? Yeah, and one button said yes, one button said no. When they clicked on the no, it said, are you sure you don't want me to show you how to get 100 and some odd thousand visitors more a month? When they clicked yes, great, let me show you how, and it took them to a webinar, right? So that's a yes/no question. You're starting to see these a lot more lately. That's interactive, that's good, it's getting people to think, right? Now, one thing I want to mention on these, I see some that are a little bit rude or condescending. Let's not make your users pissed off, but hey, if that's your brand, you do you, like, go for it. But let's also make sure you can totally make them fun, but make sure that your users are responsive to them. And the way that I do this is I just ask our target audience, right? Ask people that are your target audience to take a gander at any of your offers and get their feedback. Journeys and courses convert better than ebooks. We talked about ebooks, how a lot of times people are viewing them as a little more lengthy. They convert better by about 16%. Journeys would be, hey, I'm spending 30 days going keto, follow me along this journey. I'll give you an update every single day of what I did and how I feel, right? That's a journey. Courses would be maybe like a 3-part mini course or a 5-part mini course. These are really great because they're really small, digestible, and it gives you, especially for my digital marketing folks on here that have e-courses, it gives you a way to promote your bigger courses. You can take a small portion of that course and use it as your free offer. Definitely you want to offer your free offer throughout your site, right? right? You want to make sure it's on the homepage, the blog, header, exit pop. We had a webinar that we did a couple years back. It was called Advanced Marketing Webinar. And one of the things we did is every call to action on the site led to that webinar. That was our one main goal. We knew that's how we were going to sell our online courses. So we made sure that everything led to that. We changed the messaging a little bit, but we put it everywhere. That made a huge difference. I think we sold over 5,000 courses with that strategy, right? So there's really a lot of power in coming up with one of the highest converting offers that you may have and putting it everywhere, as long as it leads down to the path to where you want people to go, whether it be to buy your consulting services, to buy your courses, whatever that may be. A good lead magnet will generate about 5 emails for every 100 unique visitors. On neilpatel.com, we roughly generate around 7.4 emails for every 100 unique visitors, just to give you a gauge. Again, standardly, we see conversion rates that are really good at 2 to 3 upwards. You know, when we're managing them, obviously we're able to do a lot more testing, so we're able to get a lot higher. But tools like HelloBar or any of the pop-up software tools will show you what your conversion rate is. So you'll always be able to see that. And I already told you what the good conversion rate is. Okay, so step 2, you guys, after you think about your personalized, then you go into your offer. You make sure this offer is enticing. You make sure it's addressing the pain points. You guys, I have seen 2-page PDFs convert far better than a 45-page ebook or, you know, a 5-part course, solely because they address the pain points. They said, hey, I'm going to be able to solve this for you in this free offer, and people were excited and they put in their email address. So again, it's not about going out and creating this massive free offer. It's about results, thinking about the pain points and being able to give them some quick wins. Think smoothie challenge. Think why people do a 3-day juice cleanse, things like that. They get some quick wins and then they're interested in other products. All right, you guys, so step 3, and this is something we miss so often, right? So I don't know about you, but I know that we're constantly thinking about, we gotta get traffic, right? And then, okay, how do we convert that traffic, right? But then we don't think about how do we get them back again? So we collect their emails to get them back again, which is huge. But that's actually one of the reasons why we built our other tool, Subscribers, which is a web push notification software, because we wanted to be able to remarket to our audiences without having to spend a ton of money on ads. And it makes a huge difference, right? So you really want to pay attention to all angles of your funnel, the traffic side, converting that traffic on site, and then bringing them back again, which is giving them incentive to come back again. Now, if they're part of that 98%, they're probably not going to come back again. But if we can get them to be a part of that 2% and make that 2% 3 to 5%, maybe even 6 to 7%, then we're starting to get some traction, right? Then we're making the most out of our dollar, especially if you're spending money on SEO or paid ads. If you're not, then we're just making the most out of the organic traffic that you're currently getting, which is huge. So here's the real formula, right? Traffic plus conversion plus remarketing equals growth. And I want to show you some quick tips on how you can remarket without having to pay for a bunch of ads. Not that there's anything wrong with ads. I think that having a multi-channel approach is great. For those that have the budget to do ads, amazing. You should be. For those that don't, I want to show you a few tips that you can use until you do have the budget to be able to do that. But really, I think the remarketing part gets missed a ton. And in order to get people to come back again and give them something exciting to come back again, you've got to personalize, right? You've got to make things personal to them so that they're not bouncing off your site. So you need to hit them in all parts of the funnel. This is super crucial. So this is what a web push notification looks like. I showed you this earlier with Subscribers. So the cool thing about Subscribers is once you hit allow, then from there, you're able to send web push notifications to someone's desktop. It'll sit there waiting for them if they're not at their desktop. So the cool part about using this alongside email is you don't have to battle spam tabs, promotion tabs, open rates, all of that kind of stuff, right? You don't have to battle the remarketing algorithm through ads and Facebook and all of that, right? So having this multi-channel approach lets you hit people at all angles, and having it sit on the desktop and wait for them is awesome because you don't have to worry about, are they going to be there at the time that it comes. So this is what it looks like in action. Now, one thing I think is important, whether you're doing email marketing or whether you're doing web push to get people back to your site, or perhaps you're doing messengers or chat bots, you've got to give them a reason to come back, right? So if you look at what Neil Patel sends out every week, he sends out the blog post via email. He shares what pain points the blog post is going to solve, what they're going to get out of it. He sends a web push notification. He sends it out on YouTube and Instagram, right? He gives some really good content to drive people to that. So it's really, really vital that you give them something to come back to. And the way to do that, again, is going back to what we've talked about all along the way, right? Personalization, pain points. They're going to come back if you're solving their pain points. Neil always says, people only come because they want to learn how to get more traffic from me, but what they really should be asking me is how to convert that traffic, right? That's super crucial. So the other cool thing we have actually in subscribers, which I would heavily suggest, I'm sure most of you have in your emails, is that welcome drip campaign, right? We have the same thing with web push notification, which is awesome. And this is great because it gets people to continue to come back and back and back, right? So, you can spread it apart just like email. You're keeping top of mind, and then you can continue to drive them back to your website. So I would always suggest that your welcome drip for web push really matches what your welcome drip is for email, because maybe they don't see a couple of your welcome drip emails in email, but they see your web push notification, right? So again, giving them a reason to come back to the site is really crucial. You'll see some of the things we do are, hey, learn marketing in 5 minutes a day. Look at my favorite marketing tool. I need marketing help. Want me to do your marketing? Let me show you how, right? That's something for number 3, that need marketing help. That's something you could swipe for those of you that are consultants. For those of you that have your freebies, you'll want to put those in this free offer, very similar to your welcome drip. But again, giving them something exciting and enticing to come back for. And I think omni-channel approach is so crucial, right? So we want to also do this with email. You want to make sure that you are giving a ton of value in your email. Now, one tip I will give to you guys that I don't see enough is that I would really suggest putting the content out through all of your marketing channels that you're currently using. And that doesn't mean I'm suggesting that you go get, a Twitter account, a Vine account. I don't think Vine's even around anymore. Snapchat, that's what I was trying to say. Maybe Vine is around. There was another one, Periscope. But I'm not suggesting you go get, 15 accounts. What I am saying is make the most out of the accounts you have, right? Because people are seeing a ton of messages. It usually takes around 8 to 10 times of seeing something to ultimately buy, or ultimately go get them to do what you want them to do. So you've got to stay top of mind. So just utilize the networks that you have and get in front of them. And my top tip on there would be to actually come up with a cool offer for your email list that's different than the offer for your web push notifications, that's different from an offer from your social, in terms of not creating 14 lead magnets, but just something really fun and exciting for them. So for example, I have this boutique in San Diego that I can't walk by, because if I do, I walk out with like a ton of clothes. But when I do walk by, it's because she sends an email once a week. And every once in a while, she has a special 30% off code only for her email subscribers. You can't get it if you just go in store and walk in, right? That's an example of making your email list feel pretty special. She has very personalized emails every week. They're really great. So starting to think about how you can do fun, I like to call them surprise and delights for your community, right? Maybe it's a quick offer, maybe it's a fun little video from you, maybe it's a free, couple page PDF that you put together. You can keep it really simple, you guys, but multi-channel is key, and give them a reason to come back to you again, right? I always open that boutique's emails because I love the little outfit she puts in, the stories she shares, and I always think maybe there'll be a fun offer in there, right? Give them a reason to come back to you. So remarketing tips overall, you guys. Give them something to come back for. We've already talked about that. Offers just for email and push, we just talked about that, right? Special, surprise, and delights. And pay attention to the data. What's happening? What are people clicking on, right? Click-through rate is crucial. Open rate in email doesn't always tell you as much as click-through rate. Click-through rate is going to tell you what they're super interested in, because they actually went and clicked the link, right? Pay attention to that. What does your audience get excited for on social media? What are they commenting on? What are they liking, right? Those are the things you should do more of. That's how we start to really focus on the personalized marketing. Super, super crucial. All right, so let's recap it so we can get to your Q&A. I'm already 8 minutes over where I swore I wouldn't be. So step 1, you guys, when you're thinking about your website, I really want you to think about making it personal. So I want you to walk away today and I want you to look at your site, either yourself or maybe one of your loved ones, a friend, or one of your ideal audience members. Maybe you throw it out to your audience that you need 2 people to do an audit and you give them a free 30-minute consultation, right? I want you to see how they react on your site. Ask them, would you take my free offer? Would you think this is exciting, right? Does this headline speak to you and the pain points you're feeling? So make it personal, you guys. Really, I want you to, for top takeaways, I want you to go back to your site right now and figure out if it's generic or if it's personal. And I want you to make some small tweaks and changes based on what we talked about, based on some of the headlines, how to make it more personal. Number 2, I want you to look at your freebie, okay? Don't want you to revamp it again and get crazy. I just want you to see how you slightly can modify it with keeping the personalization in mind. Maybe you just change the headline. Maybe the headline's not working well, right? Or maybe you have 10 freebies and you look at which one has actually converted the best, use that across site-wide, right? So just let's look at modifying that slightly. And then number 3, let's give them something to come back for, right? So I'm gonna give you, as I mentioned to Jenna and Maya, there is, you can get the first 200 subscribers free, check out subscribers. You can also get a 30-day trial of Hello Bar for free as well. So I'm gonna give you those so that you can start implementing some of the stuff we talked about today. But I really want you to think about, like, do a quick audit on the emails that you're sending, on the social media posts you're sending. Like, are you giving people incentive to come back to you again? Are they excited to come back to you again? And look at how many repeat visitors. Look at the metrics that you're getting on your site, right? So quick audit there, and make some small tweaks and changes. Maybe it's simply that you're going to do a surprise and delight once a month, right? Maybe it's that you're gonna change some headlines. Maybe it's that you notice that the most interactive content is when you post a video. So you're gonna do 1 video a week. Just look at the metrics, figure out what's working, and get them to come back to you again. So again, make it personal. I want you to look at your free offer, make some small tweaks, and then I want you to look at your metrics and figure out what's actually bringing people back and do more of that. So I'm going to stop talking because I want to make sure that we get to any Q&A that we may have. And thank you guys again for being here and for your time today and showing up. And I'm excited to answer questions.
Yeah, that was awesome. We do have questions. Some are directly related to Hello Bar, but I just want to remind everyone that if you do have specific questions about Hello Bar or subscribers, that you can. I think Maya will put the website in the chat box, so y'all can. I know they have full forums and stuff where they have those Q&As, like FAQs answered, as well as a support team that can support you. But let's get into some of these questions. So this one is from Pia, and it's specifically, I think, about Hello Bar. She'd like to know, can you pull anything aside from city location to personalize?
Yeah, great question. You can, yeah. We have about 25 different targeting rules. So you can pull anywhere from the ad campaign that they came from to the page that they were on before they hit that current page, to what date, time you want something to show. You only want something to show on a certain page of your website. You can get very, very, very specific to what you want to show people. And I actually, for those that are more intermediate advanced, I always recommend that. So yes, you can certainly target based on any of that: location, date, time, what page they were on before, what page they currently are on, only showing it on certain pages, don't show it on certain pages, based on ad campaigns and sources as well.
Awesome, thank you. Carlos is in the enterprise SaaS market.
Awesome.
And this is kind of like, this is about, that next step. So after you get that contact, he says 50% of their leads don't reply after they make that first contact. Is this normal? Is this, a number and a metric that's kind of normal across all industries?
Yeah, it's such a great question, Carlos. I mean, I see it a ton. It depends on a couple things, right? It depends on the quality of your traffic that's coming to you. So I would, one, assess that. I'm not sure if we're using, SEO services, paid services, but I would definitely look at the quality The second thing I think is, and I'm a firm believer, and that's why I love quizzes, things like this, is qualifying them before they become that lead that you contact so that you can get that rate up. So if you use a quiz, it takes them a little bit more time to put, their details in. So then, you know that if they fill that out, they're more interested. For you, it might be like a multi-step form. You want to make sure that those aren't too complicated. We're actually building a few of those in Hello Bar in the coming months, but multi-step forms are great because then people actually have to go through a few things before they can go to your site and actually put in their email. So I'd say qualify them a little better. And then I would actually test out if you're open to it and have the team to support it. One of the things we love to do, especially for our enterprise people that have demos, softwares, sales teams, is putting like a phone number on a top bar or even a page takeover so that on mobile people can click directly to call your team. So that would be my next question for you is do you have a team that supports enterprise sales, and what's their close rate? Are they converting higher than the emails? If they are, I would definitely suggest that. Get a top bar up with a phone number, get a page takeover up with a phone number so that you can get people to call. But I would assess each area of your sales funnel, right? It's different for everyone. Some people have really qualified traffic and, they get a ton of people converting. I mean, I would say if you have 50% of people converting, that's awesome. Like, that's amazing, right? So don't beat yourself up. I still think you're doing a killer job, and it's just looking at that other 50% and seeing how you can modify that. But I think, that's a pretty darn good close rate.
Awesome. That's really helpful. I'd love to know just kind of what are some of the main mistakes you see when people are creating these offers and CTAs?
Yeah, great question. I think I see a couple of different things. I see too much text that's not like really standing out. So the headlines are really overwhelming. That's one big thing that I see. I see that the offers are on top of each other. It's like the number one thing I see. Like, they're just everywhere, and pop-ups are on top of each other and on top of your chatbot and stuff like that. So clean it up would be the next thing. And then using imagery that is appealing. Either don't use imagery and just focus on the text and keep trying to convert the text, get the text to convert higher and higher, or really focus on appealing imagery that actually relates to what you're talking about. Stock imagery doesn't do as well, but if you're a highly visual brand and you've got, bags or purse or whatever it may be, make sure that you have some imagery that really, is appealing to your ideal audience. And then in terms of calls to action buttons, make those fun and interactive, right? Like, I see ones that are just like, get it now, and people are like, huh, that's
Mm.
not very exciting, right? As opposed to, yes, I want to get more traffic, or yes, I want to save 5%, or yes, I want to do this, right? Getting people to be more fun and interactive and getting people to think makes a huge difference. So just boring calls to action. And I think we have an article on Hello Bar that's like 55 calls to action that you can totally swipe. If you just go and search call to action in there, should come up. And I'm sure you guys have so many great resources for the copywriting as well.
Yeah, for sure. Um, those are such great tips. Oh, I forget what I was gonna say. Ah, it was good. That's pretty much all the questions that we have coming in. I think this was incredibly helpful, and I hope that everyone listening will go off and do their little magic work on their site and make it a lot more engaging. Lindsay, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And feel free, you guys, to reach out with questions. I'm happy to answer anything at all. Our support team, I work hand in hand with them every day, so they forward me anything directly to me. So don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. And we'll definitely have to get some kind of special DM deal for Hello Bar and subscribers users.
Yes. Oh, yes. Do you want me to get that over to you after? Was that the easiest way? Because we have the 30-day trial of Hello Bar. I forgot to put the link in the chat.
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah, let's just do that right now. So we're gonna provide a link to the 30-day trial for Hello Bar, and we'll provide that in the office hours recording replay. So if you're already listening inside lab, it's there, but if you're live, it's not there yet, and we'll make sure it's there. So so Lindsay will send us that link and we'll get that done.
Just message you guys.
Yeah,
And
that's so awesome and generous.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us. And on your way out, there's a little survey. Let us know how we did and what you'd like to see more of next time. I know Christian is always telling us what he'd like to see more of. He Facebook messaged me today about it, and I appreciate it. Thank you. And Lindsay, thanks again. This was awesome.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good weekend. Bye, y'all.